Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. I'm so glad you can join me here today. Recently, I've been very interested in the concept of luck. What makes certain people lucky and others unlucky? I've noticed that some people, when the fingers touch something, it turns into gold. And other people, when the fingers touch something, it turns into dust and ashes. And what makes these people so different? Why does someone have such good luck and another person has such bad luck? Talk about business, for example. Someone who starts businesses, a lucky person. Every business he starts always flourishes and succeeds. Another person who starts businesses but he's not lucky, all his businesses fail. They just don't make it. And I've been thinking about why that is the case. Why do some people have such advantages and others do not? When I was reading Ash Ali and Hassan Kuba's book, The Unfair Advantage, they speak about location and luck as one of the factors that helps people in establishing their presence and their business. Being in the right place, the right time, knowing the right people, etc. Because it really helps. And for me personally, I've been thinking about this because I don't consider myself a very lucky person. I've not really gotten the things I wanted to get in life. I've not been lucky enough, essentially. And I wanted to understand, what does it mean to be lucky? And secondly, can I make myself luckier than what I am? That's an interesting question. Can you change your luck? Or is everything fixed in state? That's it. Whatever's going to happen will happen, and there's no two ways about it. It's not going anywhere. So let me give you a personal example. So I recently got into running, a lot of running, and I've really enjoyed it. And I want to start doing some marathons. I'm actually running my first ever marathon in a few months' time in April in London in 2025 this year. But anyway, so this year there are 7 Abbott major marathons, so the world's biggest marathons. There's 7 of them, and I applied to 3 of them this year. I applied to London, I applied to Berlin, and I applied to Sydney, and I did not get any one of them. If you run all 7 marathons, you get a special medal to say you've covered all of them. London, Berlin, Sydney. You have Chicago, you have New York, you have I think you have Boston, and I can't remember this other one, but yeah, there's 7 of them. I have a friend who applied for all 3, London, Berlin, and Sydney, and he got a place in all 3 of them. All 3 of them. Like, what are the chances? So let me explain how it works. So let's take London as example. So London has about 50,000 runners. So you have a ballot. So you put your name in the ballot, and I'm not sure how many people applied this year, but essentially around 800,000 people apply a year. 800,000 people. So imagine 50,000 runners are selected. There are 800,000 applications. And this friend of mine applied for 3 of these Abbott major marathons, and he got all 3 of them. So I asked him, how did you manage to do it? He said, I don't know, I'm just lucky. And I thought, luck again. Luck has come back again. Why is he lucky and I am not lucky? What makes him different to me? Why does luck not come in my favor? Why does it not look towards me? Now, when we look at luck, we never think of it on a scientific basis. We think of luck as something that just happens. But recently I read a book that scientified or quantified luck in a manner that was so easy to understand and change, to be honest. And that book is a book called The Luck Factor by Richard Wiseman. Richard Wiseman is actually a magician. He started off as a magician when he was very young, and he became the youngest magician to be in the high school of magicians, wherever it was. But he's now a professor of psychology, and so he studies things from a scientific perspective. And in The Luck Factor, what he did was he wanted to find out what makes certain people lucky. And I think the thesis here is that luckier people tend to have things. People who think they are lucky tend to have more things happen to them than the people who think they're not lucky. So there's a lot to do with mindset here. That when I was reading this book, it reminded me a lot about mindset, because one of the books I'm going to be reading very soon is by Carol Dweck. I haven't read it yet, but it's actually called Mindset. And mindset is all about going from the fixed state mindset to a growth mindset. I haven't read the book yet, but I've read the thesis about it, and I'm looking forward to reading. But that's the whole point, is all about the mindset. And when I was reading The Luck Factor, I realized that what Wiseman is getting at is it's all about what is in here, because essentially you can change your luck as long as you change this. And I found it a very interesting concept. So what he did was he went out and he studied people. He asked people to come forward, people who thought they were lucky, people who thought they were unlucky, and then he basically asked them to fill out questionnaires and find out which aspects they felt they were unlucky, give examples, very vivid examples of things that happen in life. A person who has like bought a car and had a crash in the car 3 times. She bought a new car and still had a crash in the new car. And she basically confirmed that she's just an unlucky person and he just follows her wherever she goes. And that's the kind of thing that, or lucky people, for example, they apply for something, a job, they get it. They apply for something else, they get it. Or my friend, for example, applies for 3 ballots, 3 marathons, he gets all 3 of them. That's lucky people. But what makes us lucky, and how does one who is unlucky become lucky? And that's what I want to try and explore in this video. I want to try and see how we can change our luck, and whether it is even possible to change luck, or whether it's even possible to even make a science around it, that the way Richard Wiseman has made it a science. So the way what he's done is he's divided luck, the luck factor, into 4 principles. So even if you look at the title, it says 4 principles that will change your luck and your life. I'd like to explore these 4 principles and see how we can apply those. Before I go to those 4 principles, just one thing to comment is what Richard Wiseman did was he created a luck school, a university of sorts, where he had people entering the school and he taught them how to be lucky. So he rated them before they entered the university or the school. He asked them to rate themselves in terms of luck, and then they went through this rigorous process of all these exercises that they can do. A lot of it to do with mindset and affirmations and telling yourself you're lucky, and looking at the positive side of things and not dwelling too much on negative things, which we'll come to in the 4 principles anyways. But then when he graded the students after the luck school, the transformation was phenomenal. So imagine if for just a short period of time, if someone can transform their luck from being unlucky to being lucky, or being lucky to being even more luckier, imagine how powerful this tool can be. So let's dive into the 4 factors. So what are the 4 principles? So principle number 1, he says, maximize your chance opportunities. What does that mean? He says, lucky people create, notice, and act upon the chance opportunities in their life. Now, when I think about this, I think about this in a way where it's all about the mindset, right? So a lucky person is observant. His heart is open, his mind is open. So when things pass by, he catches at them, right? We have a famous Arabic saying that says, opportunities are like clouds. Grab at them, because once they pass, they're gone forever. And see, with an open heart and open mind, your heart and mind are synced with the universe, if you want to call it that. And when those opportunities come, you are able to grasp them. But if you are very negative and downtrodden, and you think you are unlucky, even if it's right in front of your face, you will not notice it. There's a study Richard Wiseman did where he had a newspaper, and he had people count the number of images in the newspaper. There were 42 images in the newspaper, but on page 2, in bold, it was written there are 42 images in this newspaper. Do you know what? The unlucky people did not even find that. The lucky people did. The unlucky people did not. Because they just went on to count all the number of images because they considered themselves to be unlucky. So things will not work out in their favor. So why even bother? Just do what you're supposed to do because that's the way it is and that's it. But he said, no. The first principle of luck is maximize your luck opportunities. Now, how do we do that? So he has 3 sub-principles where we can use that to achieve this principle. He says, lucky people build and maintain a strong network of luck, i.e. know a lot of people, get to know people, go out and mingle with people, because the more people you meet, the more chances there are that luck is going to be open in your favor. You might meet someone who will change your life, right? Lucky people have a relaxed attitude towards life. This is what I meant about not being negative all the time. Just chill out, just relax. Whatever's meant to happen will happen. And you know what? With that attitude, if things are right in front of your face, because you're so chilled out and relaxed, you will see it. It'll be right there. And the third principle is lucky people are open to new experiences in their life. Again, because like I said in the first one, they're open. Their hearts are open, their minds are open. So when things come their way, they're like, let's do it. There's no harm in trying. I recently, last year, I went skydiving. Now, I'm terrified of heights, but I thought, why not do something that will allow me to conquer my fears? And the best thing to do was go to the extreme and jump off a plane at 15,000 feet, which is the highest distance you can jump off in the UK. And so basically, when you fly in an airplane, you're flying at 30,000 feet. So this is halfway. But anyways, I thought I'll do it as an opportunity for me to expand myself. And you know what? Through that, I've met people. I've been able to speak about with other skydivers. We could resonate. I've made friends to that. Like, this is an opportunity for me to expand myself and explore myself outside my comfort zone. Even, for example, running. I've taken up running recently, and I'm running marathons, half marathons. Through this process, I've met more people. And actually, the place I got in my marathon was through a community space that I had met through a friend of a friend in a wedding. And he basically knew I was a runner, and he followed me on Strava, and he said, you know what, let's give you an opportunity. And he gave me the opportunity to run the marathon. If I hadn't taken the effort to speak to him on that wedding, I mean, there were lots of people, and I saw him, and I thought, okay, let's talk to him. He's someone new, someone different. It's a friend of a friend. I'll speak to him. And you know what? He essentially changed my life in a way, in terms of my running journey. This is my first ever marathon, and it only happened because I spoke to him on that wedding, and he followed me on Strava, and he noticed my building up my mileage, and he said, this is an opportunity for you to run a marathon, and he gave it to me. But that's the whole point of creating these chance opportunities. If you go out there, you will be able to find those. All right, so that's principle 1. What's principle 2? Principle 2 is listen to your lucky hunches. What does that mean? Lucky people make successful decisions by using their intuition and gut feeling. So we know things within ourselves. If something is right, we know it's right inside. If something is wrong, with skydiving, I had a gut feeling that I really wanted to do it. I was terrified, but in my heart of hearts, I knew this was the thing I needed to do. And I did it. I did it because I listened to my gut feelings. And I think that's an important thing to do. So he has 2 sub-principles to help understand this. What are they? He says, lucky people listen to their gut feelings and hunches, and lucky people take steps to boost their intuition. So what he means by this is that when something comes, something is telling you inside, your inner voice, a lucky person will listen to it. That's the whole point. You want to listen to that inner voice because it's telling you something. And if you think it's wrong, then try and figure out whether it is really wrong, or is it you just being scared. And once you listen to your hunches, you might change the luck in your life. Absolutely change the luck in your life. So that's factor 2. Right, principle 3. Expect good fortune. What does this mean? Lucky people's expectations about the future help them fulfill their dreams and ambitions. Now, this I think is very powerful. For me, this is probably one of the most powerful things, because lucky people live life and go about life thinking the best of life. What do I mean by that? I mean, they think that everything will work out in their favor. Even if this doesn't work out in their favor, they know further down the line something else will work out. They have a positive, optimistic mindset. Unlucky people have a negative, pessimistic mindset, i.e. they think they will get the worst, they expect the worst. You know what? If you expect the worst, you know what's going to happen? The worst will happen because you've expected it. But if you expect the best, even if the best doesn't happen, good will happen. Because if you aim for the stars, you might end up to the clouds, but that's fine. You might end up somewhere higher. But that's the whole point. You aim for everything, and then you try and work towards it. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. We are judged by our efforts, not our results. So even if you don't achieve it, for example, on my journey, I'm trying to do different things in my life. But even if I die before I achieve this, I am going to die a happy man currently, because I know I'm pursuing the things I want to pursue, the dreams I want to pursue, the life I want to pursue. So it's all about the journey, and lucky people expect good things on the journey. And I think This is the whole power of mindset and affirmations that I'm talking about, where you say, it is going to be a great day. I am going to succeed. It is going to happen. The more you tell yourself, the more you start believing that this is going to happen. And I think that's a very powerful tool. So here's three sub principles on this for this principle. So what are they? He says, lucky people expect their good luck to continue in the future. Number one. Number two, lucky people attempt to achieve their goals even if their chances of success seem slim, and persevere in the face of failure. Number two. And number three, lucky people expect their interactions with others to be lucky and successful. So Richard Wiseman has a story in this book where he basically, because he's a professor at university, he got an email. A lot of the professors got an email from BBC, which is the National Broadcasting Service in the UK, British Broadcasting Service, to make a proposal for a documentary. And he had this idea about luck, and he wanted to make this proposal, but he thought to himself, there are so many professors who are much better than me. They will all apply, and they will get the place, but I will not. So why bother? But then as the deadline loomed, he thought, there's no harm, right? So let me do something. Let me put my heart and soul in this. And if it works, it works. If it doesn't work, then it's fine. I wasn't expecting anyways. So he applied for it. And he got in. He writes in his book, he says that if he did not even take the courage and effort to apply for it, he would never have been able to change his life, because essentially he was able to come to the forefront through this, and his career took a different trajectory. His project took a different trajectory because he was able to come on national TV, for example. But all I'm trying to say is, if you do not put yourself out there, don't expect to go anywhere. You have to do something to be able to reach somewhere. Actions will lead to the success that you're looking for. There's no point of just sitting here, I want this and I want that, and you're just sitting and waiting for the world to come and give it to you. No one's coming to give it to you. No one's coming to save you. No one's coming to save me. No one's coming to give me anything. It is up to me to be able to go out there and do whatever I need to do, and create my luck. Because essentially, the more I go out, the more people I meet, as I said in the first principle, the more things I do, the more positive attitudes I have, the more likely I will be able to achieve this. Lucky people expect their interactions with others to be lucky and successful. Every time I go out and meet a new person, I am going to learn something from them, or they'll learn something from me. And who knows, maybe the interaction might lead to something in the future. I don't know, a potential alliance, a potential referral, a potential, I don't know, any potential. It could lead to anything. And that's the beauty of this whole concept of luck. Right. Principle 4, which I think is just as important as principle 3. Principle 3 for me is the most important principle. I think for me personally, expect good fortune. So I'm going to try and implement this in my life, where I'm going to have a positive attitude and expect the best out of this world. Because you know what? The universe is there to help us. It's not there to bring us down, it's there to bring us up. But if with my mindset, if I'm like constantly giving out negative vibes, the universe will just distance itself from me. Or I will distance myself from the universe. Okay, principle 4. Turn your bad luck into good. What does this mean? Lucky people are able to transform their bad luck into good fortune. Okay, so here's 4 sub-principles for this. He says, lucky people see the positive side of the bad luck. Lucky people are convinced that any ill fortune in their life will, in the long run, work out for the best. Lucky people do not dwell on their ill fortune, and lucky people take constructive steps to prevent more bad luck in the future. Let me give you the example of the unlucky person that Wiseman talks about in his book. The woman who I told you had an accident in her car 3 times, and then she bought a new car and she still had an accident. And then she basically told herself, all right, I am an unlucky person, so I expect the worst in life. And this was her attitude. And a lot of unlucky people think like this. They think that they are unlucky because bad things have happened to them in their life. Do you know what? Bad things happen to everyone all the time, right? Even to lucky people. You think lucky people have like plain sailing lives all the way through? Of course not. They have difficulties, they have hardships, they go through divorces, they go through business breakups, they go through financial troubles. Of course they do, right? But it's a mindset that's different in lucky people versus unlucky people. Lucky people expect the good fortune to come even if they're currently in a bad fortune. Let's say I'm going through a very hard situation, a hard circumstance now. Life is terrible. But as a lucky person, I would tell myself, I know life is hard now, But I know life will, if you reach rock bottom, the only way is up, of course. If you reach the most bottom pit, I know unlike people say, oh, you can go even further and further down. And that's the problem with the mindset. Like, it's such a black hole that the more you think about it, the more you force yourself into this mindset, the more, the worse it becomes for you. And that's why I want to come out of this mindset and tell myself, okay, if I'm going through bad luck at the moment, I'm going through a hardship, a difficult time, that's fine. It's happening now. But it's gonna become better in the future. So what did he say? They're convinced that any ill fortune in their life will in the long run work out for the best. It might be for my best benefit. This hardship, I might look back 10 years from now thinking, you know what, this was the best thing that happened to me. So see the positive side. Expect it to be better in the long run. Don't dwell on your ill fortune. Just because it's a hard time now, it's okay. It's okay. Life is hard, it's okay. This too shall pass, right? It's all right. We'll get through it. We'll go through it. We'll come out on the other side. I know it's difficult. I know it's tough. I know I'm struggling, but it's okay. It's okay. Everyone goes through struggles in life. That's what makes you the man you need to become. Diamonds don't become diamonds just like that. They go through a lot of transformation, a lot of heat to become the magnificent gems that they are, right? And then the fourth principle I think is very important. Lucky principle: take constructive steps to prevent more bad luck in the future. So if I was the woman who had a crash 3 times in the first car, and then a crash 3 times in the second car, and she blamed the other drivers, I'll think to myself, hold on. If I've had a crash so many times, it's not everyone else's fault, it's my fault. Maybe I don't know how to drive properly. So maybe I need to take some lessons to be able to learn how to drive, or maybe get my confidence while I'm driving so that I don't have that many crashes. You look inwards because you realize, okay, there's something missing in me. Let me take some steps to improve that and make my luck better. So I have been convinced by Richard Wiseman. After reading this book, I've been convinced that luck is a science. It's not just hearsay and superstition. Luck is a science. You can change your luck just by changing your mindset. To me, mindset is the most powerful thing. As long as you open your heart and your mind and consider yourself lucky, then when opportunities come, you will grab at them. And when you have bad luck, when you have bad things going in your life, you will take them as lessons for the future. Try and change it, and also look at the good in them. Maybe it's a good thing that this has happened, because in the future I might benefit from it. So I really hope that has convinced you to read The Luck Factor. It's a very short book, about 200 pages, not very long, but I think it was a phenomenal book. I really enjoyed reading it, especially because I've been interested in this whole concept of luck and how to influence our lives. And this is one way to influence your life, is to create yourself to be a luckier person, and it's very possible. It's very, very possible to. There's a science around it, and I think Richard Wiseman has proved that science. And to me, the most powerful thing is just a mindset shift. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope I encouraged you to pick up this book and read it, because I think it's a lovely book, a great book, and I think Richard Wiseman will be very happy for me to say that, because even though I'm not part of his luck school, I think I subscribe to his luck school. So yeah, that's it from me. Until next time, see you soon.